We are live at the Preserve Beach, Florida. Welcome everybody. We are at this beautiful community. I'm joined with a fantastic team here, and we are talking all about the Preserve. I am so happy to be here and happy that you're joining us here on Facebook and YouTube, and we're all over the place. So this is a special episode of Senior Living Live. Now, Senior Living Live is a show that we do. We're the Arbor Company. We manage senior living communities like this. But Senior Living Live is a show that we do every week, Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We actually just finished our normal show, and now we're doing a special episode specifically for the Preserve at Palm-Aire. We've got in this beautiful resort-like surroundings here, and I'm joined by the team. And we're talking a little bit more specifically about this community. Our last show was a little more senior living in general. And now here we are talking about this fantastic community. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the team here. So we've got Mike Kaminsky, who is the dining director at the Preserve.
Hi guys.
How you doing? And right now you should be inside probably, making sure that lunch is running okay. But so we won't take up too much of your time. And we got Melanie, who is the executive director here at the Preserve. How you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Nice and cool
Happy
in this
to be
outdoor
here.
environment.
Beautiful.
It's nice. It actually, we got a nice breeze. We've got some shade from the trees.
Right.
Fountain in the background. I love it. And then Paul Kelly is with the Arbor Company, Vice President of Operations.
Great.
And so Paul helps to support this community. So the Preserve at Palm-Aire, let's talk about the community a little bit. So this is a independent living, assisted living, and memory care community.
Right.
So we've got all three of those product types. It's rental only. There's no large buy-in fees or anything like that. You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to move in here. It's just it's a rental situation. So what makes the community so special, Melanie? I think you're the leader of the team. What does it mean for you to work here?
What makes the community so special, I believe, are the people that work here. We have created an amazing team of professionals that work at the community, that love working with seniors and taking care of seniors. And when you combine that, I started here 6 months ago shortly after Arbor became the management company. And when you combine a great team of people that really have a passion for serving seniors with the Arbor culture and what Arbor brings to the table, then it just creates a wonderful atmosphere for our residents.
It is, well, I can tell you it is a wonderful atmosphere here. I mean, it's kind of carefree, and people are enjoying. They sit outside, and they're right now they're enjoying kind of like this lunchtime. There's like a rush in the bistro area, and actually we've shot over the last day or so. We've shot a lot of video here that we're going to be posting to Facebook soon. So be sure to follow the Preserve at Palm-Aire on Facebook, and you'll see those videos pop up. And also on your what is your website address?
The Preserve at Palm-Aire.com.
Yeah, so it's going to be on there as well. So you mentioned a little bit about the Arbor Company. So this community it's called the Preserve at Palm-Aire, but it's managed by the Arbor Company. So Paul, you represent the Arbor Company here. What does that mean, to have a management company like the Arbor Company in place?
Well, we started our management contract here last September. And what that really means is taking all of the Arbor-specific philosophies and programs that we have in all of our communities and implementing them here in the new community. We have our Arbor Service Way standards and how we respect and provide dignity to our residents, how we do our meal service, and I think more importantly, one of our most important features is the way we do our engagement. Our company focuses very heavily on engagement. We staff more engagement staff at our communities than most of our competitors do, almost by double. And so we're able to run engagement programs on multiple different levels 7 days a week. And that really is a great way to bring our residents into a more social setting and really focus on that lifestyle and that socialization that I think is so important at this stage in their lives.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of really great points there. So we've got the socialization, which we just did our episode of Senior Living Live, or a real episode about that, the activities and engagement that we have going on. And I think you also touched on kind of the value that the Arbor Company brings. And so, Melanie, you have worked with you've worked in senior living for how long?
About 28 years.
Okay, so a little bit of time, but has that been most of your career
Yes.
at this point? Okay. And so you've worked with other companies. How does Arbor compare to some of the other companies that you've worked with?
There are a lot of great things about Arbor. One of the things that I like when I started researching Arbor was all the research that I've noticed they put into caring for seniors and the needs of seniors and how they can make every day better for seniors. And not only just to make them laugh, but to care for them and to help with memory loss. There's a lot of research that's gone into that. The other thing I love about Arbor is they're not a huge company and they don't want to be. They focus on being the best, not the biggest, and that really appealed to me. Working since I've started with Arbor, what I've found is with the corporate office, we call Paul our ops partner, and he really is a partner, and so is everybody at the corporate office and in every area. They partner with us for the success of the community. So those are very special things that I haven't seen as much of before.
And that's, that truly is, it's the partnership. It's a partnership that Paul and the Arbor Company makes with you and the operation of the community. And then I know you partner with the residents and their families to make sure that we're providing the right services and the right amenities and everything. And then Mike, I know you partner with people to make sure that they're eating what they want to eat, right?
Correct.
So how do you do that?
Again, a lot of education. My degree is in nutrition and clinical dietetics. So we really analyze the menus and we're looking at the sodium levels, cholesterol, making sure that we have a heart-healthy diet for our residents. But then there's nothing like having a good quality hot meal and being able to socialize with your friends and talk to them, relive past experiences, talk about upcoming events. That's really what we try to focus on here, is just giving the residents an enjoyable meal that they can sit and have a good time with.
And do the residents like the meals?
They love our meals. So tonight we have salmon, it'll be one of our features. We have the brisket, that's another one of the features. And once a month we have a menu chat with our residents where I get the feedback from the residents on what they do like and what they don't like and how I can make some changes to
Kind of constantly evolving. And this is restaurant-style dining at the Preserve.
Restaurant-style dining. We have 3 dining rooms. We have the independent dining room, the memory care dining room, and the assisted living dining room. So each separate dining room caters to that kind of clientele and offers different features and a different experience that really set it above and beyond.
Okay. So we talked about the theme nights. We talked about the different dining rooms. What about, the question that we get a lot from people online is what dining or what meals are included? Is there like a package or how does that work?
With independent living, what's included in their rent is breakfast and dinner, but we have lunch packages that they can either do it a la carte or have a program to have monthly lunches added to their statement. And assisted living and memory care, they have 3 meals a day plus snacks included. So they have the option of 3 meals a day if they choose that in every area. And with dining, one of the other great things that Mike brings to the table with his background is he will meet with residents. We have a lot of independent living residents that, they might say, I shouldn't have sodium and I shouldn't have this. And they'll meet with Mike, and with his background, he can sit with them and individually talk to them and pick out menu items. Don't eat this tonight. Make sure you eat this, and really help them. And he's helped a lot of residents on an individual basis with that.
I might need that help too. Maybe we should set up an appointment. So you bring in the residents and you ask about their preferences and everything to kind of help to build your menus. And I know we were talking earlier too about how that the activities and the life, the socialization that happens in the community is that, the residents are involved in picking what we offer here as well, right? From an activity perspective?
Right. We have an activities committee that meets, so anybody can be on the activities committee, or they can just talk to anybody on activities and say, I would like to see this. We're doing too much of this.
Yeah.
So we also take attendance at each of our events, whether it's a lecture or bingo or the pool exercise, see what's really popular and make sure that we're doing the types of things that the residents enjoy. We have a lot of very active residents here that enjoy exercise class, so we offer at least one exercise class a day, if not two. So,
And then in swimming, we're next to a pool here. You can't see it, but there's this fantastic pool. And you were telling me earlier that this pool is used more than any other senior living pool you've ever seen.
absolutely, absolutely. I've been in 2 other communities in Florida and barely ever had anybody in the pool. And every day, even in January, we have people swimming and doing the exercise classes.
And it's
here.
heated, right?
It
They're,
is heated.
They're not doing it under a sheet of ice or
Right.
something. Right? So another thing that you were telling me today is that people sometimes tell you that it's like there's too many activities, there's too many things going on. I want to do it all.
Right, because we have the staff that we have and engagement, we run several programs at the same time. So, you know, sometimes the residents are upset, right? It's like, I've never had this problem before, but there's too many activities. I can't decide what to go to. I want to go to both of them. You need to schedule them at different times. So it's a nice problem to have.
So I think the point of this conversation is that if you move into the preserve, you're not going to go hungry and you're not going to be bored.
That's right.
And if either of those things happen, you need to talk to these folks here and figure out what's going
Fix
on.
it.
That's right.
So, you know, we talk a lot on Senior Living Live about people, the importance of activity and socialization. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier today. And the fact that when you move into a community, I mean, yeah, you're going to have your stuff and you're going to have your apartment that you move into, but you don't spend as much time there as you might think if you're out in the community and you're doing things. But people still ask about the apartment. So what types of apartments, can you just kind of walk us through what you have here in the
For
community?
independent living, we have 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They're great size. They have high ceilings and wonderful balconies on every apartment. And with assisted living, I mean, one of the greatest features of our assisted living is the apartments used to be independent living. So they have the same footprint as the larger independent living apartments. A lot of the as-built are single rooms, more studio type, but we have some great 2-bedrooms, apartments even in assisted living.
And you don't typically find apartments that large in assisted living
Right.
in other communities.
Right. So the residents can still feel that they're in a nice home environment. You know, especially transitioning from, we have a lot of residents that transition from independent living to assisted living, and they can get basically the same floor plan. If
you
they
just
like that.
move the stuff to where they want.
Right.
And you bring up a good point with that transition. So, you know, Paul, I know we've talked about that a lot. With what is the importance of looking at a community that's got that, what we kind of call this continuum of care? What does that mean to people?
Well, I think a couple of things. I mean, we all understand how difficult change is, and so moving is a stressful thing for everybody, especially for our seniors. So, getting into a community from an independent living perspective, you get to know the staff, and more importantly, you get to build that circle of friends that live here. And so, if you do need to transition to a higher level of care, your friends are still here, and the staff that you've known to grow and love and care about, and that know you and your preferences are still here, and it just makes that whole transition into a heavier care, setting a little bit more pleasant.
And you don't have to worry about shopping for another community and moving and getting a moving van and everything. And I mean, do you have people here who help with that move if that happens?
We do, depending on the amount of things that need to be moved. We have a maintenance team that will help with that, or we have a company that we work with.
Kind of come in and help with that, but it's a service that we're able to point people to.
Right.
And just I guess there's just this sort of the comfort in knowing that you don't have to do that. You don't have to move. You don't have to look at other
Right. You don't have to
locations.
leave your friends. You don't. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You know, it's getting them into the community after being isolated at home. Now they've made all these friends, and they don't want to leave them.
Yeah. So what do you see when people move in here as typically like maybe they're as a reservation that somebody has that then they move in and they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I was worried about that because it's not that way. I mean, do you ever encounter that with any of your residents?
We do. I think everybody, there's that fear factor. Is anybody going to like me? I don't know anybody. But we have a lot of ambassadors that actually will we'll meet with the new residents coming in, and we'll show them around and help them get acquainted. You know, it's kind of like your first day of school sometimes, where it's just so terrifying for the first 5 minutes, and then you find out, you know, oh, this isn't so bad, and you make new friends. So it's hard at first, but we have things in place to help the residents get acquainted with other people that have been through it.
And people do make friends. I mean, they've got fantastic friends here, and they go and they probably come to your happy hours, right? And we go to each other's apartments and things,
Right.
and enjoy those activities. So I know I've seen a lot of people walking around just today, just having those conversations, and a gentleman was eating breakfast, and some ladies came up and were talking to him, and just it's such a vibrant atmosphere, and it's beautiful. Look behind us at this beautiful fountain here and these palm trees and everything. It really is serene. I mean, we are sitting in the sun. Poor Mike here, sitting in the direct sunlight, and it's a little hot, but I mean, it's just it is so nice. So the building is comprised again of independent living, assisted living, and memory care. You also have a few cottages, so like
we have villas also that are more like having your own single family home. They have garages attached. They're duplex, but you get all the amenities. So you have your more independence if you want to feel like you're not in a retirement community, but you have all the amenities of the community. So you still have your meals. You can do any of the activities, use the pool. Anything.
And they have the kitchens as well as the apartments here have
they
the
have
kitchens.
full kitchen.
Do you ever encounter people who, the kitchen is very important, I know, to a lot of people, and they come in and they think, oh, I'm going to be cooking and everything. I'm never going to eat your meals, and then they end up coming down to the restaurant every day because they want to be with their friends, right?
Right.
Exactly.
You see that a lot?
And who wants to cook every night?
I don't.
I don't.
Well, so any final thoughts for someone who may be considering, stopping by or just, kind of wondering?
You talk about frequently on Senior Living Live about the concept of pulling back the curtain and seeing what's going on behind the scenes. And I think that that's a really important concept for people that are considering this as a lifestyle option. We've got very warm and very friendly people here, willing to help you and show you around. Even if you don't choose an Arbor community as your choice for senior living, we can still be a resource to you in helping you find something that's maybe closer to your family or in another state, or has a different lifestyle that better suits your needs. Think of us as a resource to help you find the lifestyle that you want. I mean, we certainly hope that you'd like the Arbor lifestyle. I think it's pretty great, but it isn't for everyone, and we can still help you out with that. And it's scary to kind of dig in and look behind that curtain, but I think once you peek behind the curtain, you see that it's just a lot of really great people, and it's a nice place.
Yeah. So what are the next steps for someone who may be considering looking at the preserve?
They can call and make an appointment, or they can just stop in. We have salespeople here 7 days a week that can help show them around the community. We love walk-ins. It doesn't cramp our style at all. So either give us a call, make an appointment, or if you just want to drive by, check it out, and then stop in, we're happy to show you.
And do you have to show up with your checking account and your ink pens and all of these things, right? You really can just come and take a tour, no strings attached, right?
Absolutely.
And then, beyond that, if someone is kind of going past that initial conversation, we recommend that people come in and have a test meal. They enjoy a meal with us.
Come to an activity.